Hello, Starseeds. Welcome to Starseed Living. My name is Lorraine. So, as you know, yesterday we didn't do a meditation. Kind of toying with possibly not doing one today. We'll kind of see how time goes. But I had some additional information to go along with what we talked about yesterday. Illusion versus reality, that my intuitive guidance suggested that I fill in, because sometimes the information coming in as we are tapping into the field, all of you, because we all are receiving information. But those of us that have learned to connect, have learned to hear, see, know, feel the connection with the divine, often it doesn't come in ways that are, for lack of a better term, gentle. Sometimes, depending on the channel or the vessel, because it must come through the, not interpretive, the skill set of the person receiving it and their capacity to voice it. I hear it or I see, often I see it in words, symbols. Often I hear it just sort of comes in and out, and that's the best way, because it's not filtered or interpreted through my own filters. And anyone who is downloading and delivering, do their best to get out of the way so that the information isn't filtered. But sometimes that can feel harsh. It can feel, at least this is the feedback I sometimes get, is that the information is not as easily implemented as it could be. And that's because as humans and as intuitives, we often filter the information through our feelings, which can be, sorry to say, muddied. We can, instead of feeling it from an intuitive sense, we go into emotionality about it. We are not as clean receptors as we would perhaps want to be. But that depends on frequency. It depends on training. I'll leave it at that. So, what my intuitive guidance suggested is that I share with you some tools that perhaps would assist in the comprehension of what we are moving through and into, to understand how this ascension process will move. I'm not sure if you have read or if you remember the book series Celestine Prophecies, and then so it was Celestine Prophecies, then it was the 10th Insight, and then it was the Secrets of Shambala. I highly recommend that you read these books. Now, don't watch the film, because there was a film released, I don't know how many years ago, but the film is doing its best within a time period to project forward the idea, but it projects forward too many distortions for my liking. When you read the book, you are reading it and imagining with your own connection to the divine what the information is. And so within that series, it very closely resembles and shows the transformation from 3D into the fifth dimension. It's a beautiful way to experience this transition that we're moving through. And it defines the sort of sensory awakening, the movement from three-dimensional solid reality into the crystalline light. It's fantastic. And yes, it's written as a story, and all stories have an adversary. So I would just look at the adversary as the lower energetics, and look at the information that is woven through the story of the individual's personal awakening and transformation. Because he moves from a state of absolute asleepness into a state of becoming aware of his effect on the field, how the frequencies, when we're in frequencies that are not in any way connected to the frequency of the experience, that we aren't even residing in the same, we're residing, if you want to look at it as space, in the same space, but that which is not of the same frequency vibration doesn't even know you're there. So it brings these concepts and ideas of transitioning from 3-dimension to 5-dimension into a way that is easily digested and experienced. And when I first read this series, and it's been a really long time ago, I imagined a world so grand where we were communing with all of life in a completely new way, where we become part of everything. And this is truly where we're going, but we keep allowing ourselves to be jerked back into the lower frequencies. And I know the system, the current matrix system, is there to show you the extreme separation, how far we've become separated from the truth of who we are, which is already who we are. This lower dimensional frequency is not where we need to or have to exist. we are already the diamond light beings. We've reactivated the 144 strand DNA, but it already was within us. We just awakened to it. And the more we awaken to the truth of who we are, the more we have access to that truth. So yes, we will be experiencing miraculous things, but our visual perceptions will gradually shift. First, we will begin to see the energetics, perhaps of the plants, of the rocks, of the trees, of the forest creatures, the auras. Then see them around the people around us. As we live more and more in a frequency vibrational world, less of the what would be perceived as ugliness will be available to us. We won't even see it. It will be a gradual shift as all of life begins to vibrate at higher and higher frequencies. More and more will be available. New technologies, new structures, new building materials, new everything will begin to be revealed because it already exists. The veil will shift, but our perception will gradually, over time, shift. It won't be jarring. It won't be like 1 minute we're gravity stuck to the ground and the next minute we're floating. That isn't how the majority of people will experience this. It's going to be a gradual shift in frequency and perception. As we come back fully online, our ability to see with our third eye will begin to awaken the perception of our other senses. It will heighten their abilities. They will come online as fifth dimensional eyes, ears. We've all been so polarized in this last year to force us to awaken, because for whatever reason, the majority, the masses of humanity only change when they are absolutely brought down to the depths, shoved up against the wall. Not sure why that is. Change is something that it's almost like human nature would rather exist than fully live, if the fully live requires them to change. They have to be forced to change to move out of their mediocrity. And that's not everyone, but remember, this is a spiraling frequency elevation that is to bring the entirety of all of this realm, humans, animals, rocks, crystals, trees, bring it all into its higher expression. So I encourage you to get the book, The Celestine Prophecies, The 10th Insight, and The Secrets of Shambala. I encourage you to read that and keep in your mind that that is what we're moving towards. Don't lose your passion. Don't lose heart. This is happening. It is happening. Tomorrow we'll do a meditation, I promise. We will get back into the rhythm, but every once in a while we need to change things up, shift things, alter the structure, and my guidance told me it was really important to check in, and at this, third way in, not a bad idea to break it up a bit. So, many blessings. My name is Lorraine. This is Starseed Living. Until next time.